I know that my video upload schedule lately has been a bit missing, but I've been extremely busy and I have also been away on a short holiday. But I'm back and you can expect the videos to come much more regularly again. Hello and welcome to a look at Gauntlet for the Commodore 64, an Atari arcade original that was converted by Gremlin. Now, the arcade original was quite a fanciful little game. First and foremost, the fact that you could play up to 4 players simultaneously was quite unique, at least at the time, and the fact that the game featured an awful lot of um, synthesized speech and that kind of stuff. I mean, speech was becoming the norm in games slowly, but Gauntlet had huge amounts of it compared to other games of the time. Gauntlet even is a maze running game where your task is to find the exit and utilize it. And on on the way of doing that, even you can bump into all sorts of nasties, and of course, health packs, treasures, and keys. Keys play a vital role in the gameplay, and um, you can find yourself in positions where you need to be very, very careful about how you use your keys to make sure that you don't get stuck. Which you can't. You can't actually get stuck, but more about that later. In the arcade original, the first 8 levels were always the same, and then they start getting randomized. I am not sure whether that is also the case for the Commodore 64 version, but considering the fact that it was available on tape as well as disc, I find it hard to believe that all the levels would be randomly set up, because of course, as a tape load, it would have been a nightmare. Fast forward to 67 on your tape counter and then load. Yeah, good fun. You can choose from one of 4 different characters: the warrior, the Valkyrie, the elf, and the wizard. And of course, as you can probably gather, they have different strengths and weaknesses. The warrior is very, very good in hand-to-hand combat, but his magic is significantly weaker than the other classes, and the wizard has no hand-to-hand combat skill, but his magic is very, very powerful. And the elf and the Valkyrie are somewhere in between, where the Valkyrie is the more hand-to-hand combat orientated of the 2 remaining classes, characters, whatever you call them. All the characters have a ranged attack and it hits roughly at the same strength, but it is mainly the firing rate that is different between them. But the different characters are different enough that they feel in some way or another somewhat unique when you play them. The gameplay loop in Gauntlet is rather simple at a foundation level. Run through a maze, find the exit, go to the next level, and rinse and repeat. But of course, because this is a maze crawler, Some of the levels are actual mazes, surprise, surprise, and they can be extremely cumbersome, annoying, difficult, whatever, to navigate. And of course, the fact that you have keys as a resource that you need to use somewhat sparingly, it requires a bit of a foresight in order to do well in this game. Thankfully, the game's been designed in such a way that you can't get stuck. If you ever find yourself getting stuck, you can leave your controller, joystick, whatever it is you may be using, for a set amount of time, and after a very short 15 seconds, you'll hear a pling, which means that all the doors have been unlocked in the level, which can be both a good and a bad thing, of course. And then if you wait some extra time beyond the 15 seconds, all walls will turn to exits. It's a very, very well thought out mechanic in order to prevent the player from ever getting stuck, but of course, sitting around doing nothing means that your health are draining while you are doing nothing. So it is a small price to pay in order to utilize said function, but it is, as I said, a nice touch that it is actually in. It would be very easy, imagine playing this game and then use the wrong key at the wrong time and basically be forced to restart the game. So there's a certain amount of trial and error when it comes to knowing where to spend or use your keys, but it is not super punishing if you spend a key too many. You have various different enemies you can fight: ghosts, orcs, lovers, wizards, and the funky purple guy you can see from time to time, which is death. You can only defeat death in two ways, and one of them is to use magic, so of course, ideally, that is what you want to do. And the other way is letting him drain 200 hit points from you, which is something that you probably want to try and avoid, as your health is actually quite limited. You start a game with 2000 health, and as you go through the different mazes, your health will slowly drain over time. Taking damage from fighting enemies will, surprise, surprise, also cause your energy levels to drop dramatically. And thankfully, there are compensations in order to keep you going. Yellow bottles, which are healing potions effectively, and of course, the platters of food, which is surprisingly, again, the food. And both will restore some of your health. From a graphical point of view, this may very likely not be the most exciting looking game ever made for the Commodore 64, but bear in mind, of course, that this is an older game, even compared to well-known Commodore 64 titles. And in that regard, I think that the graphics are fully functional. What is impressive is how many enemies can be on the screen at any given time without the computer slowing down, flickering, or anything. And it is a sort of a showcase of how much graphics you can have on the screen on the Commodore 64 without it dying in the process. The sound design by Ben Dalglish, that is his name, D-A-L-G, is not bad at all. The music is mainly jingles, and they are easily recognizable and short and sweet. The rest of the sound effects are of a good quality. You can hear when you get hit in hand-to-hand combat, and the sounds of blowing things up and that kind of stuff is very rewarding. The problem, if there is a problem to be mentioned with this game, is that the gameplay loop can become rather tedious or rather quickly, especially if you're playing alone. If you play alongside a friend, this game can be far more enjoyable and will be far more enjoyable. And as such, I would say that This arcade conversion is surprisingly excellent, but it becomes significantly more excellent by being played with a friend. On that note, thanks for watching. Take care. See you next time. Bye bye.